Your delivery was amazing.
You should
I was channeling shit Cortland said. Sorry, go ahead.
Generation gap in tech. Okay, hold on. So next up, we'll talk. Next up, we'll talk about generation gap in technology and how technology was different with our parents and than it was to us, and then our children are totally going to have a different idea of what technology is.
Even children from 10 years ago have a different relationship with technology than we do. So like our parents, they grew up, computers were big, you have mainframes, maybe you'd see one in a corner or in a movie, but it was a long time before you could have one in the home. And we all grew up, we had computers in the home, you hack on them, you get to know them, you love them, whatever. Everyone knows that shit. So kids today, they don't know a time where you didn't have access to something that was almost as powerful and faster than you. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, that's the acceleration, the computer that sent a spaceship.
But I mean, it's like when you grow up with something and when it's always been there, you know it so more intimately.
Well, yeah, it's like
than something that you had when you were 30.
The way we think of the telephone as just this inherent device that you use to communicate to somebody, and nobody thinks about how amazing it is that I can pick up something on the table and type a couple numbers in there, and I'm talking to my grandmother in Florida.
Or the Pope.
Right. I mean, imagine
you have the Pope's phone number?
You don't have the Pope's phone number? It's 555-867-POPE.
Ah.
Come on.
That's why they keep the 555 number for just movies.
That's the Vatican.
It's
That's
only
the Vatican,
only movies in the Pope.
Yeah, okay. The Vatican hates that. That's the one secret the Vatican doesn't want you to know.
Every number in a movie actually calls the Pope.
Yes.
But growing up, you saw your parents' technology, and it was pretty antiquated. It was terrible.
Not necessarily.
You don't think so?
The first time you see a television, or not television, the first time you see a telephone, and you realize I can call someone across town, because when you're little, across town seems like
very far.
That's very far. And then you realize I can call across the country. Yeah. I can call across an ocean. I barely even understand what an ocean is when I'm 5 years old. You see it's just this big expanse. For your mind, that is everything that there is. Until you step back and you see the entire globe. That is an incredibly powerful thing.
Yeah.
But you get incredibly used to it so quickly.
I think we're missing the point here, though, the generation gap thing.
Yeah.
And you think about it, my father works in technology. He is an electrical engineering major. He's worked in technology his entire life. He's very, very well respected in his field, in the field we all work in. My dad calls me for help setting up wireless routers.
Is it Waz?
Yeah. My dad is Waz.
Nice.
I am actually Waz's son.
Nice. You guys, stunning resemblance.
While, on the other hand, my ex-girlfriend's 11-year-old sister can use an iPhone better than I can.
Yeah.
It's really a shame about your fingers.
Yes. Also, it's upside down.
Yeah.
You should stop.
You should stop using your phone that way.
If
Apple, this is an intervention, Zach.
If Apple would put the headphone jack on the correct side, maybe I wouldn't make that mistake.
Yeah, so I was at the airport and I saw a 3-year-old using an iPhone and listening to her favorite music, still in a stroller, picking out music. It blows my mind.
Old dirty bastard.
But it's also a testament to it was.
Hey, baby, give me my money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I killed all the government chips out my body. I killed all my enemies at birth.
She was just playing that part over and over again, staring at people as they walk by.
I kill
all my enemies at birth.
I kill all my enemies at birth.
It's a real testament, though, to Old Dirty Bastard, but also the usability of and intuitiveness of our devices now.
Or even just how much we've revised on ideas where, someone who's still, coming up to speed with everything can use something like that. No, go ahead.
Is it intuitive, though?
It is. I mean, if a 3-year-old can use it, that's the very definition of intuitive to me.
Is it intuitive, or do people just learn? I feel like intuitive means somebody who is an adult who has not used this thing can pick it up and use it without having to learn, as opposed to somebody who is born in a world where this thing exists, knows how to do it.
But did you learn how to use your iPhone? I didn't. I picked it up and it was like swipe, and I swiped
and the
it.
iPhone is very intuitive. Yes.
Yeah, and I had buttons.
But you think
Yes.
about it, like the, like the fucking spear, did not exist for hundreds of thousands of years until somebody figured out how to use a spear.
Some would even say it existed for
And
didn't
so
exist for billions of years.
were all those people before?
It depends what religion you subscribe to. Really.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Yes.
okay, hundreds of years.
5 minutes, actually.
Hundreds of years beforehand.
History is constantly being
You checking
rendered.
checking your watch?
Yeah.
5
minutes.
5 minutes and 3
A hair
seconds.
past a freckle, some might say. Sorry,
So-
continue.
But the javelin is or a spear is pretty fucking intuitive. You put the pointy end in the person you want dead.
Yes.
That's intuitive.
The business end, they call it.
As opposed to yes, the business end goes in the other person. The business end goes much like my penis. Your penis? Somebody's penis.
It's double-ended.
Okay.
Whatever.
I'm surprised.
First
David-
mention of penis in this Techendo so far.
Yeah. Not
We've
the last.
We've already discussed.
First recorded mention.
Yes.
We were a lot before that.
Okay, javelin.
but compared to, for instance, a car, which everyone uses now,
Nope,
but
I
is
don't.
not intuitive at all. It involves a learning process. So the question is, are all of these technologies things that are actually intuitive to use? Is the reason 3-year-olds are able to use them because they're intuitive, or is it because they are raised in the society that they exist in?
There's only one way to find out. Let's get a 3-year-old and put it in a car.
So coming up, a 3-year-old in a car using an iPhone.
Yes.
Yes.
At what age does texting and driving become dangerous?
Or become illegal.
So I was actually talking to a guy who's like 20. He's around 20, 21. And I mentioned video game high school.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Video game high school?
Yeah,
Have you
it's on
seen that?
Netflix. I think it's Kevin Wong. I think that's his new
Yeah.
thing.
All I can think of
And-
is Clone High.
But yeah, and it's basically all of the stuff about video games baked into this kind of drama romance
But
kind of
when you say video games, what kind of video games do you mean?
like everything for first person shooters, racing games, Tetris, like
So,
it has
so it's
all
like the
these kind of-
gamut from like classic, Atari to like
Right.
current day Xbox.
So the premise is
Wrapped
like,
up in a high school sort of drama.
Right.
Okay. Perfect. Great.
yeah,
Okay.
it's cool. It's like a comedy drama. I really enjoyed it. So,
Oh,
so
no.
I was talking.
Video game
I was
high.
talking to
So
a 20-year-old
let's
about
separate
video
the
game
show.
high school, and I asked him if he had seen it, and he kind of laughed, and he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Well, what? You didn't like it?" And he was like, "It's kind of a 40-year-old's idea of what video games are nowadays."
Wah, wah.
And that blew my fucking mind because I'm old now, and that I thought it was really cool.
Because
But
Dan and I are only 24, and so that
Yeah.
he thinks a 40-year-old.
Yeah, and so like it's just interesting how quickly technology evolves for people.
Yeah.
No, I think the opposite side of that is it's quickly how fast you go from being like the hot new kid, like you're up and coming, you're 18, like you understand everything, you're a whiz kid, whatever fucking term you want to use, to being
That's what they labeled me.
I'm old. Yeah.
I was a whiz
I
kid.
saw pictures.
Young whiz kid.
I saw pictures.
I was
of
on the
you.
cover of Wired, the 1994
Yeah.
October.
Yeah, you did like
Miss
what?
October.
18 meter whiz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the arc on
a
that.
whiz kid.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but I'm totally serious. Like, it's amazing how quickly you go from like feeling like you can be and do anything to like I'm fucking old. Like that entire like
Also, how quickly
decade
it
goes by
happens
so
with,
fast.
with companies now. Like, remember when Nintendo mattered?
Remember when Google was like fucking small and like a big like scrappy company fighting like Microsoft and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like companies
Yeah, I
that are
remember when
founded 4
Microsoft
years
mattered.
ago are now pretty much obsolete or
I would
Just
argue Microsoft
old.
still matters a lot, but
I think Microsoft will exist forever. Whether they matter is a different.
they are going to be the corporation from
So
Aliens
generation-
and Predator.
generation
No,
gap.
I think that's going to be Amazon.